Good morning, student. Today we'll start our new chapter. It's of heredity and evolution. Okay, as you know that evolution part is deleted from your syllabus, so we will discuss on heredity and laws, Mendel's laws and all in this part. Okay, so what is the heredity? First of all, we have to understand it. Heredity means traits, characters, whatever we are having because of our parents. Mean that the transmission of characteristics or traits. What are the characteristics? Means height, color, complexion of color, or colors of eyes and shape of nose, chin, our height, our body weight, and all the things. Okay, means the overall our personality, means these are the characters which we inherit from our parents. Means the transmission of these characters from our parents to the offspring means babies or new ones. Okay, so is this process is known as the heredity, means transmission of the characteristic is known as the heredity. Okay, so as I told you, heredity is defined as the transmission of characteristic from parents to offspring. Clear, children? Means whatever the characteristic you got which resembles with your from your parents, like your height, your nose, your color of eyes, your color, complexion, whatever the characteristic you got from your parents is known as the hereditary characters, or this process, the main term is known as heredity. Okay, so if we read, if you are having any kind of difference from your parents, but whatever the difference, you are not just a cut copy paste of your parents, you are having several difference from your parents. So these differences in characters of parents and offspring, whatever you are having the changes from your parents or your difference from your parents, so this thing is known as the variation. Okay, so if we do study of heredity and variation, then combinedly it is known as genetics. This is the term. Okay, means study of heredity or variation means what are the same characters you got from your parent and what are the same characters new offspring got parents, or what are the variation having among parents and offspring. This the study of these two terminology is known as the genetics. I hope this much is clear. So on the basis of this, we can say that these information, the hereditary information, are generally present in gametes of the parents. Like simple example, in plants also you had read in reproduction chapter. So you know that how if you are showing the seed of particular plant, and that time if you are growing the seed of mustard, that time when it grow up you get the mustard plant only. In place of mustard plant you are not getting banana tree, banana plant. Okay, are you getting my point? Mean that whatever the information is parents are having, these information is carried by our sex cells. These sex cells are only link these gametes. Sex cells means these gametes are link between one generation to the next generation. Like if you discuss about the from father, from male to the sperm, and from female to the ova, the information is carried forward, and when they both fuse with each other, that time only zygote forms. You know it very well because in our previous chapters also we had discussed all the things. So by this we can understand that the information is carried forward by the some agencies. These agencies are known as the gametic cells. Okay, like those characters you are having as it is like your parents, it's because of only these gametic cells, or if whatever the variation you are having from your parents, this is also because of these gametic cells. Okay, so by this we can understand that the variation is a necessity for any kind of evolution. If any evolution is taking place, like we all know that our ancestors are apes, in monkeys. Okay, so from there modification occurs in the body structure and each and every sphere of body. That's why sorry, that's why variations occur in new generation. Like from the apes till humans, there is a long journey held, and because of it only evolution takes place. apes से humans तक का बढ़ना एक पूरी जर्नी है चिल्ड्रन, और उस जर्नी में ही बहुत से कैरेक्टर्स ऐड हुए और बहुत से कैरेक्टर्स मिस हुए. ओके, तो ये कैरेक्टर्स का चेंज होना ही क्या है, इवोल्यूशन है. सो वेरिएशन, जो वेरिएशन है एप और मंकी में, दिस इज़ द बेस ऑफ इवोल्यूशन. ओके, सो द सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ अ वेरिएशन, it only we can understand when the all the continuity inheritance. Okay, it continues to be inherited by the offspring for several generation. बहुत सी generations आई एप से ह्यूमन बनने तक का, और उन जनरेशन में लगातार चेंजेस होते रहे, वेरिएशन होते रहे. ओके, so the great advantage of variation to a species is that it increases the chances of its survival इन अ चेंजिंग इन्वायरमेंट. अगर स्पीसीज़ में चेंज होते रहता है तो उसी की वजह से जो नई स्पीसीज़ होती है वो और ज़्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग बनती जाती है. ओके, आर यू गेटिंग माई पॉइंट? इफ़ देयर इज़ अ नो वेरिएशन, सो नेक्स्ट स्पीसीज़ आर नॉट एबल टू सर्वाइव इन अ चेंजिंग इन्वायरमेंट. To live in a changing environment, the species has to be adopt some characteristic. So adaptation of these characteristic is also a part of evolution. Okay, so the variations can be of two types, somatic variation and gametic variation. Okay, what is the somatic variation? When the variation takes place in a somatic cells. Children, हमारी बॉडी में सेक्स सेल को छोड़ के जो बाकी सारी सेल्स होती हैं, they are known as somatic cells. Only the sex cells or gametic cells are known as gametic cells. Okay, whatever the cell present in your body, they are known as somatic cells. Only the sex cells are known as the gamete cells. Okay, when any kind of variation takes place in somatic cell, and they are generally not inherited from one generation to next generation, and they are the acquired traits. But gametic variation means these variation takes place in germ cells or sex cells, and they can inherit from one generation to next generation. तो अगर germ cell में और गैमेटिक सेल में चेंज होता है तभी वो नेक्स्ट जनरेशन में जाता है. मीन चेंजेस शुड बी इन अ जीन लेवल और इन क्रोमोसोम, देन ओनली दिस ट्रेट कैन बी इनहेरिट फ्रॉम वन जनरेशन टू नेक्स्ट जनरेशन. जब जीन्स में चेंज आता है, डीएनए में चेंज आता है, तभी जाकर वो एक जनरेशन से दूसरे जनरेशन में चेंजेस आ पाते हैं. ओके, एंड दिस वेरिएशन इज नोन एज गैमेटिक वेरिएशन. नाउ the next thing is importance of variation. Why we say that variations are very important, children? Because you know, as I told you, it is the base of heredity, और variation की वजह से evolution होता है, और it is the chances of that particular species to survive nicely in surrounding, okay, environment. चेंजिंग इन्वायरमेंट में अगर किसी स्पीसीज़ को सर्वाइव करना है, सो दैट टाइम दिस स्पीसीज़ हैज़ टू अडॉप्ट दीज कैरेक्टरिस्टिक. ओके, so what are the causes of variation? There are the very simple way by which we can understand that this is the cause of variation. As I told you, if variation takes place in germ cells, okay, sex cell में chromosomes में अगर variation होता है, these are the chromosomes, then only this information is inherited from one generation to next generation. And how it can be done? With the help of one process which is known as crossing over. In 11th standard you will read, those who will opt biology, they will read about crossing over process, okay, in cell division. So this is the recombination or crossing over by which only the exchange of information can takes place. And अगर information में changes आता है in gene level, okay, in chromosomal level, then only the characteristic is passed on from one generation to next generation. I hope that much is clear. Now Mendel and his contribution is very great, children. Gregor John Mendel started his work on Pisum sativum. Generally about the Mendel, he from the academic base, he was a physicist, okay, physicist and priest, and he he was a son of a gardener, so he got a keen interest towards the gardening. Then he observed in Pisum sativum, in garden plant, some variations takes place in different generations. So he calculated all the information what he received from these plant and these crops, and afterwards he has given three laws. So these three laws also we will discuss one by one. So first of all, we have to understand that what was the great work did by Mendel. That's why Mendel known as the father of genetics, okay. So just understand this thing and please note it down. Father of genetics is Mendel, okay. So he had chosen 7 pair of contrasting characters. But he has chosen how many pairs of contrasting characters? 7. Many times this question has asked 7 characters. What are these 7 characters? Like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, okay, these are the contrasting characters. दो प्लांट लिए हैं और दो प्लांट में ये कैरेक्टरिस्टिक है, 7 कैरेक्टरिस्टिक. लाइक ग्रे और राउंड सीड फॉर्म, okay, gray, round or white wrinkled. Cotyledons, if you open the seed, that time you feel that yellow cotyledon or green cotyledon. Clear. Flower color, white or violet. Pod, it's full or constricted. Color of pod, yellow or green. Exile pods means it exists in a exile position, okay. And terminal, what is the exile position? Children, these are the exile position, okay. And what is the terminal position? This is the terminal position. Clear. Or next one is long or short, tall and short. These are the characteristic on the basis of it only Mendel has given 3 laws, okay. So the why he chose garden pea for experiment? This question has asked many time in CBSE, ओके. बोर्ड एग्ज़ाम में ये क्वेश्चन बहुत बार पूछा जाता है कि मेंडल ने केवल पी प्लांट को ही क्यों लिया. क्लियर. सो व्हाई इज इट सो? बिकॉज फर्स्ट थिंग, it is this plant is short life cycle. Is it true? You all know that the crop gets to be ready in a short duration of time. Second, larger number of seed. In a one plant only you got a larger number of seeds. Next is self pollination. These plants are able to go for the self pollination. Next is several contrasting characters. As you can see, in one plant only you can observe 7 characters, okay. So that's why Mendel has chosen pea plant, garden pea plant for his experiment, okay. I hope that much is clear, and if you have any question regarding that much portion, just share it, and tomorrow onward we will discuss different laws of Mendel, okay. Thank you, children.